So let's talk about this Lakers embarrassment which happened today. If you guys didn't know, yesterday the Lakers got smoked. I'm not gonna say, or be very simple with it. They lost badly. They're one of the teams which has had the most troubles, when it comes to things like turnovers, passes, and just being able to move the ball around and be able to really be productive this season. They're a team which, don't get me wrong, has had a great streak of winning and have actually looked like a positive team and a playoff team. But yesterday they got embarrassed completely. I will not only be talking about this game, I will also be talking about this Denver Nuggets game. But I just wanted to, point out some things that happened yesterday. First, I want to say shout out to Joel Embiid and the Sixers. They look like the best team in the NBA right now. They're cohesive. They work well. Their guys are, doing what they're supposed to be doing. And really, if we're being 100% honest, the biggest thing with the Sixers is the fact that they can play together. They have two stars. Their stars know what their roles are. Both Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid have both figured out, hey, if we both score, pass, and then do our and defend, then we can win a lot of games. And that's what's led Philly to be the best team in the league right now. Apart from this, they have grown their depth to the point where they can probably play every single player in their lineup, or at least in their starting 12, and still get effective minutes. These players include Robert Covington, which has been amazing, or at least, has been shielded off a lot when he was on the Clippers and now has had a chance to play more minutes. Markieff Morris, which has been amazing as a three-point shooter and as a forward for this team. Patrick Beverly, a pure hustle guy who played amazing defense yesterday. And guys like Mo Bamba, Paul Reed, and Korkmaz, who have been able to all contribute. This is due to the fact that their best positions are guard and center, and the rest are just really up for grabs. Tobias Harris is good, but if he's not having a good game, then swapping him out isn't that, difficult. Also, with the coaching change that Nick Nurse is now coaching this squad, they have had a more positive outlook as their stars actually have roles now, and they are playing a game which is more centered on winning and playing through their stars, meanwhile letting everybody eat, right, than how they did last year, where it was that the offense was almost exclusively ran through their stars. With the Lakers, their trends continue. They're great, but too many turnovers. They can't score, when LeBron is not dropping 30. And honestly, if we look at their inconsistencies, we could just see the fact that they haven't been the same. Even though they won the other day, and I did give them some praise for that win, we can see that the problem with the Lakers is that they can defend and they can have good games. But when a guy like Cam Reddish, a defensive player, doesn't play, when a guy for them, like Jared Vanderbilt is missing time right now, when these players and defensively minded players miss games, the Lakers just become trash. They can't score enough and they can't hold their team to enough points, which causes them to lose in this fashion. If you guys don't know, they lost, I think, by 44 points against the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, it wasn't the Sixers' home, but honestly, this game leaves a lot to be desired if you're a Lakers fan, because with the 17 turnovers and 18 fouls that the Lakers had, the 76ers only had 5 turnovers and 17 fouls. So, yeah, that's at that for that game. And I want to say honestly, shout out to AD for at least trying to do something and having the best game out of his team. For this Nuggets and Clippers game, we got two LA teams. They weren't both in LA, obviously, but honestly, this game was amazing. Even though the Clippers lost, and I do think that the Clippers have looked promising, the biggest thing about this game was Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson played his heart out. And I mean every single word by that when I say it. He was the best player on this team. He played well, he had great matchups, and honestly, when we really look at this team, Reggie Jackson was able to beat the Clippers, which are supposed to be a contender, by himself without Jokic or Jamal Murray. It was him and Michael Porter Jr. and DeAndre Jordan was their starting center. If you didn't watch the game, this game was predicated mostly on offense being ran through Reggie Jackson and KCP. Since KCP had a bad game, eventually, obviously, he couldn't really play. But Reggie played 40 minutes, having a total of 35 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, with only 2 turnovers, and he made DeAndre Jordan look like he was in Lob City again. I do want to say that there is something to be said about how the team played in terms of cohesion, because their 3 best players were missing. Well, their top 2 players and their 3rd and their 4th best player were missing, and they still managed to win. DeAndre Jordan grabbed 13 rebounds and had 21 points, almost exclusively off of Reggie Jackson passes and lobs. Michael Porter Jr., even though he didn't play that great in terms of efficiency, you could tell that it was a good sign when in the end of the game they trusted him with the final shot and he delivered. And for, a guy like Justin Holiday, he got some great minutes into hitting his shots effectively. For the Nuggets, this was just kind of a feel-good game. You have enough wins to the point where they could have lost this game and still be happy with it. But something that's revealing is that this game, they won it by more points than the time when Nikola Jokic, right, and Aaron Gordon were playing, which is crazy to say that the Denver Nuggets could pull off a win like this with just one dude carrying their whole offense. And that, I think, shows more and gives more props to Reggie Jackson as a player and Mike Malone as a coach. For the Clippers, this was a game where it was just sour. For most of the game, they were either winning or counter-punching effectively. And that third quarter for them was amazing. But when they came into the fourth quarter, it seemed like they forgot to play basketball, if we're being 1,000% honest. And it seemed like they just had to take a breather because they were getting smoked so bad. I do want to say that if we're being 1,000% honest, Kawhi Leonard, as the star player guarding Reggie Jackson at the end of the game, should have done a better job at stopping him because you were entrusted with that assignment. You're supposed to be one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and now we're supposed to not, turn a blind eye to when you let Reggie just cook you in the end of the game. I want to say that Russell Westbrook off the bench was amazing and probably should have gotten more playtime than James Harden, which even though he wasn't bad, he wasn't really James Harden. In my opinion, the biggest thing with this team right now is that Kawhi can do as much as he can. Ivica Zubac can do as much as he can, and Paul George can do as much as he can. But James Harden needs to start passing. As soon as James Harden starts pulling that ball on the floor, making the offense flow, making everyone around them, giving them the passes, giving them everything, the offense is going to start to get better. And that's what I think is revealing. This game, the Nuggets outscored the Clippers, but when James Harden was on the floor, they were a +6, the Clippers. So that basically means that when James Harden was on the floor, it was a very good telltale sign that the the Clippers were up in points. So basically, what I am going to say is give James Harden the ball, let him run your offense as a point guard, and just trust him with that. I understand that in games like these, you want Kawhi and PG being the two main guys, but there gets to a point where you just have to give them a breather and allow them to, play the way that they regularly play. James Harden passing that ball around, Kawhi Leonard scoring, and Paul George scoring. But yeah, that's all I had to say for these two games, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.